A lot of false history in our history books, unfortunately. Not false, just bad narratives. A lot of these places were already here. Imagine who else was here. Blacks. That's what that case was all about. Blacks were actually here first. They were already here. They were the indigenous people. They didn't come over here on no boats. Read the Articles of Association 1774 before the Declaration of Independence. It'll tell you right there that international slave trade was outlawed. They didn't bring anybody over. Sorry. Go into the Texas State Museum and check out what it's all about. See how much fake history I can learn about. Nice, cool stuff. Never trust, only verify, right? After all the lies I've been told, I assume everything is fake here and a lie. So I'm obviously not assuming that this giant boat is fake. I mean, I know it's a boat, but assume every single narrative is false and then try to verify it myself or yourself, try to figure it all out. Because there's so much hidden information. And they wanted to hide something from everybody. They wanted to hide the actual timelines. They didn't want you to know what the correct timeline was. So if you knew that, you would know what they know. For example, like when this guy says he comes over from France, right, in 1682, did you think that like the place was just empty? There was nobody here? Maybe a couple Indians running around in teepees? Is that what that's what they want you to believe, right? Well, they don't want you to believe that there were actually black people, black Americans here. Okay? That's who was here. Yep. Those who win the wars get to write the history, so you don't get to find out about the truth. I'm a damn proud American, and this is about the Gulf of America right here now. Amazing. I don't doubt that this ship was real. You got the real boat. They came on this small boat from France. I don't doubt that. That's real. It's clearly a boat. Yeah, there it is. Small ship, dangerous journey. Contains inaccurate information. For example, California is shown as an island. There it is, California as an island. This is 1656. Why is that inaccurate? It doesn't say inaccurate. I mean, is that just because of today we know it's not an island, or is that because that right there is the valley? See, I grew up in that valley where it's flooded, where the water is. That's a valley right there. And you go through that valley, there's no old history. There's no old history prior to 1600s, right? That's about like the oldest. So to the east of the valley is all of the giant sequoias. And then to the west of the valley, towards the peninsula, you've got all of the giant redwoods. Well, why aren't there giant redwoods and sequoias, ancient ones, in the valley there, where the water was? Well, because it was water, dude. It was part of the... California was an island at that time. Didn't have giant sequoias and redwoods there. They didn't grow there, full of water. I mean, it was dammed off at some point. Why would they lie about it? That's the question. Why? It makes no sense, right? Why lie about California being an island? For example, California is shown as an island. That's inaccurate. Oops, I made a mistake. Why lie about that, though? I mean, I'm just confused. I mean, do you have an answer? Anyone watching this? It's very appropriate timing for me to be here right now, too, because of the Birthright citizenship case, because, it is the most offensive and just asinine decision, slap in the face to black Americans, because supposedly, if this is all true, that they were all brought over here on boats, 500,000 were all brought on boats, and they didn't get freedom until the 14th Amendment. That's their narrative, right? Well, according to that narrative, now all these other people are coming over here, and they're just having a baby, dropping the baby off. He's got allegiance to another country. These blacks did not have allegiance to another country. They were allegiance to America. The parents had allegiance to another country, so therefore the Civil Rights Act doesn't matter. And they just dropped the baby off, and they had the same rights as the 14th Amendment, freed slave. That's a slap in the face, and that's our current law system. I'm against the current law system, but that's just what it says, and that's what Justice Roberts just did. The whole narrative is fake. The whole narrative is fake. They were already here. These were indigenous people. There's no chance. Nobody can. And I don't think anyone watching this is stupid enough. How stupid do you think we are? We're walking around thinking 500,000 slaves came over on a boat, that little boat right there. And there was 50,000 of those boats just jamming over here full time, nonstop. Come on, bro. More convenient, much more convenient to not compensate the black Americans for what happened here. See, because the Native Americans, they stood up, they were here. That was an era there was less of them. So you got the Indians, there was less of them, and so they got their, they got protections because they were already here in the teepees, and it was just less of them. They had Indians without tax, but the blacks were also basically should have been considered Indians as well. Never African Americans. That's the most offensive. Damn. I mean, I'm really sorry. I'm just upset about that. They give they give blacks the wrong characterization. They're not African Americans. It's totally wrong. There are some, I'm sure. I know some friends of mine that were African. They came from Africa. There are some, but I'm talking about the native people. You want to know my theory? When I go down to the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco, and I go back to the Capitol over here, you'll notice that a lot of these were giants, bigger people. My theory is, no proof yet, but some other civilization, clearly built these places way before we were here. And it was small, it was strong, tall, very athletic people. And it was some hidden civilization that we don't know anything about. What would that have been? A hidden civilization that we don't know anything about? Well, it had to have been all covered up. And it was the civilization, the ancestors of your modern day black American. Not African American, black American, dude. Yeah. Public, man. So much. Where it stands. And this is beautiful. We got the Lone Star identity. Home to a diverse group of people. Lone Star, baby. Look at that. Mexico, man. See that? See where the Gulf of Baja, Mexico there with that island? That was running up all the way up to California. That was part of the island. To all you Texans out there, every citizen of the Republic at 21 years old. So that means all you Texans out there are citizens of the Republic of Texas. Now that's never changed. None of those laws have changed, just so you know. It's a full constitutional amendment. And so any constitution made after that, doesn't change what was already there. They struck oil. I guess it seems kind of improbable that when they built that Constitution, they built this thing. It's just so majestic. I find it hard to believe. Talk to builders and they say they don't know how to build this right now. Say that we don't have the technology to build this right now. How the hell they do it? I mean, why make the doors 20 feet tall? Well, I mean, not 20, but let's say 15. It looks kind of like Davy Crockett over here. Joking when I said that looks like Davy Crockett. And look at that, David Crockett. He was born